The first time I read this book, I went out and bought this camera. Then I put it aside and I didn't do anything with it for half a year. When I realized that I have to do something about it, I took the book again, read it a second time, and then I started uploading content to Instagram. The only reason you can see this now is this book. Thank you, Austin. Thank you so much. This book is so good. There's something beyond the words in this book that just makes you want to go and create stuff and then share it with the world. And that's exactly why you see this video right now. I'm going to share now 5 things I got from this book, from the confidence I needed to start uploading stuff, to some mindset shifts that occurred after reading this book and that changed the way I treat creativity altogether. Look, not many books give you life-changing advice in the first few pages of them. The biggest click I've had throughout this book occurred in the first few pages when Austin simply explains the idea behind this book. That by itself was already mind-boggling to me. Essentially what Austin is saying is, we don't like marketing ourselves, we don't like self-promotion, and so essentially he is suggesting different alternatives to getting discovered, to getting your work out there and then having people notice it. That's it. How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that, you ask? Well, as the title of the book suggests, you simply show your work. So you just show everything you have as you do it. But you show your work, you show your process. Your work is not the thing you have already done. It's not the project you have finished. Your work is you working towards that finished product. If you change your mentality now and you start uploading and sharing and keeping and building around the things you do, around your work, around the things that influence you and about your process and about the skills you have to learn. If you're documenting this whole thing and you share that with others, not only it's going to be fun because it's the thing you enjoy to begin with, but people enjoy it as well, and it's going to get you discovered eventually, as long as you stick to it and you share the things you do as you do them. Sharing your work could be anything. That could be me uploading my morning routine to Instagram. That could be me sharing my script for today. That could be me sharing the books I currently read. That could be me sharing quotes by my favorite influencers. That could be anything. But as long as it relates to the thing I do, to my work, that's great. Share it. And eventually good things are going to happen. Share it and stick to it. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better than someone. Or at least different. When it comes to business, I've been knowing for a while now that in order for you to sell someone something, teach someone something, you don't need to be the best at a certain thing. I'll take myself as an example. I am a personal trainer. When clients would hire me, it would not be because I'm the best trainer around. It's because I'm better than them. They can learn from me and I can make it accessible to them. They would come to me and not to someone else because we would maybe click better. I would be able to speak their language better. Maybe it was just luck and I would be the first one they would stumble upon. Essentially, you need to be a level above the person you're selling to. If you're too far ahead, and if I forgot how it is to be a beginner and I'm trying to explain something to someone who is a beginner, the distance is going to be so big that it's going to be practically impossible for me to speak their language. I'm not there anymore. I can remember how it is to be them and then to transform into something else. And so the best teacher for a beginner at most points would be someone who's intermediate, is good, is better, but not someone who's the best. The best usually can teach people who are close to the best. When it comes to sharing your work and sharing your process, you're doing essentially the same thing. You're communicating with people who are not you, but who are close to being you. If I'm trying to teach you something, you have to be fairly similar to me. If you're a 5-year-old, you can probably learn a thing or two, but most things I'm saying will go over your head. You can't read yet, so, book reviews are kind of... When this obstacle is removed, then suddenly the fear of not being good enough disappears. All you have to do is be as good as you can and hope that you're going to find people who are a little bit less good at this one thing, who know a little bit less than you do, who experienced a little bit less than you have experienced, and then maybe they'll take something from it. You don't have to be the best. You have to be better than someone. You have to know more than someone. And the internet is a pretty big place. You're going to be better than quite a lot of someone's, right? So as long as you share your stuff, someone who is one step behind you is going to see your things and take a thing or two from them. That's entertainment. If you see something that teaches you something, if you see something that makes you think, I could do that too, well, that's a pretty good idea. Oh, you know what? I haven't tried that. I didn't try this one thing. All you need to do is find people who are similar to you, but are not yet you, and they'll enjoy your content. Now, as you're sharing your work and you're sharing your process, that's motivating as well. People seeing something successful is kind of scary. If you see something that's already a perfect product, you think to yourself, man, how the hell am I going to be something like this? This is so far from me. I see, I look at music. The music I listen to is very fast and complex. And I look at the guitar players there and I go like, what the crap? How could I ever play guitar this way? And I probably wouldn't be able to, but it's demotivating to see perfection. For most. Seeing perfection is demotivating. As you share your process, as you share you learning something, other people, the same people who are just one step behind you, they can see that and they can be motivated by you. They can see that and think, man, I can do that as well. Let's join this person in their process. And so you're helping someone. Share your work as you do it and show your imperfections, show your process. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better than someone a little bit. Now, how do you do that? How do you share your work? Abuse social media to your advantage. I spoke about it a little bit in a recent video, but social media is already built to get you addicted, to keep you coming back. If you can abuse it to your own advantage, and if you can abuse that to have you come back to upload your process, your work, the thing you want to be discovered, then you can get so much from it. It forces you to upload more stuff. It forces you to push yourself a little bit further. It forces you to put in a little bit more work. As you do that, you're going to build a certain community who's going to comment on your videos, who's going to be liking and sharing your posts on Instagram. You're going to be finding some people who do similar things. If the people that like your content, as we said a second ago, are people who are one step behind you, they could also be a couple of steps ahead of you in something that might be interesting and new for you. And so as you're starting to build this thing, and you start showing your work to people, it doesn't have to be a lot, but some people experience the things you're doing, you're going to be learning from them as well. It becomes a certain relationship. And so you upload your stuff to the platform that suits your content. Well, you decide what that is. But if I wanted to upload something that's more visual, I probably upload it to Instagram. If I want something that's video related, I'll go on YouTube. You share your work wherever's relevant to you. You'll find people who hang out in the same areas because the same people hang out in the same, internet locations. You find people that are one step below you, one step behind you in certain areas. That's why they like you. They're not you, they're different. And so they have something to learn from you. But the same thing goes the other way around. They're not you. You can learn from them as well. And as you build this community, you're going to be learning a bunch. But not only that you get addicted, you get feedback, you get this community built around your stuff now, around your work, within this niche that you're in. You also get to keep stuff in a very condensed place. So if I upload all of my videos to YouTube, and some of them are shit, and some of them are good, and some of them have some valuable content in them, and some of them have horrible content in them, after a year passes by and I've been uploading a bunch of stuff, imagine what I have already. If I upload 2 videos a week, and I've been doing it for a year, can I take a little something from each video and maybe mix it into a single thing? If I teach something and I keep teaching once a week, I say, okay, once a week I share my lessons from this week. I learn a couple of things and I simply share with you the things I've discovered myself. By the end of the year, I'm going to have so much content in this one place. Could I not maybe sum it up into a book? Or could I not sum it up into a course maybe? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Can you say that? Of course, yes. social media and the different platforms help you come back again, help you meet other people who are like you, and help you keep your stuff in a organized, specific way, which later on you can revisit and build something out of it. You don't have to plan ahead. This was one of my biggest fears. I can't stand planning ahead. I can't stand it. I'm super fearful of it. But what I can do right now is I can share something I've done this week and do it pretty well. And then I can do that next week. And then by the end of the year, I already have a bunch of stuff in the same niche, laying in the same place. And I can take that and squeeze something else out of it. Squeeze something out of it. I've been thinking that I am not that creative. I've been always considering myself as a very rational, logical person. I thought I'm like good at solving problems, but I'm not that good at just, creating stuff. And so throughout this book, I realized that creativity and sharing your stuff, it's not a matter of you're not either creative or not creative. It's a behavior more than anything. It's a mindset. Everybody's making something. Constantly on a daily basis, you're doing something that's kind of new. You're connecting two dots that someone maybe didn't connect previously, or you're connecting two dots that you haven't been connecting previously. And so it's new for you. It's going to be new for some people around you. It's something that you have now created. And even if it's not completely unique, it doesn't matter. You're being creative. Nothing is really completely unique, And of course, some people are going to be better at it than others. Some people are more creative than others. But if you change the way you look at it and you think of creativity as a mindset, as a behavior, as a habit, as something you do, you're developing a creative pattern within your day. Everybody has something to share and everybody is creative. So you can find your own creativity in the way that suits you. But you have it. No one's not creative. Everybody is, to a certain degree. Finally, the last thing I got from this book, which I guess relates to things I've already said previously, but speaking of connecting dots and creativity, we'll make it into a fifth point. This book is its own proof. This book is so phenomenal in my opinion because it's so different than anything else I've ever read. It barely feels like a book. It feels like a long blog post maybe. There's a bunch of pictures within it. There's a bunch of different sketches and Austin's handwriting in it. It just feels like a collection of blog posts, thoughts, and things that Austin likes into a book that is very small and very unscientific. When I think of a book that's going to help me with creativity or a book that's going to help me with, I just imagine automatically like the modern science behind creativity and behind and it doesn't have to be that. This book is one big piece of creativity. This book is just a collection of a bunch of stuff that Austin has been doing in the past, has been liking himself, has been sharing online, different quotes by different people, but he put it in such a good way. He merged it in a way that's so good and that connects so well to me that twice already it made me do some pretty big things. It made me go through some big decisions, spend a lot of money, start uploading content that was pretty uncomfortable for me. Austin, you're absolutely great. This is so good. And this book is its own proof. Just by reading something like this, it convinces you that you can do the same, that you can start collecting your stuff and sharing your stuff up until the point where it gets to become something big. It becomes a project accidentally. And when you're at that point, when it becomes a project, hopefully you're already going to have your crowd. You're going to have the people that like it around you because you've been sharing it the whole time. I know this is only a small, very creative, very fun to read book, but it genuinely changed my life. It made me change the way I look at creativity. It made me be much more comfortable with my process and not the end product. And as a person that's already obsessed with process and not end products, this has been so eye-opening. I highly recommend it to everyone. Austin, you're the best. Go support this dude and buy his book or follow him on social media. I'll link everything down below so you can easily access it. Thank you so much, Austin, one last time. And thank you for stopping by.